right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is, and right here we actually have a New York hip-hop legend in the building. We got Nut-Rageous, also known as Nutso, right here live on the line, man. How are you doing this evening?
Man, great, man. Happy to do this interview, man. I love the love, bro. You already know what it is.
Hey, man, I gotta say, I definitely am blessed to have you on my radio station airwaves this evening, man. Definitely shout out to C the Cuban as well for just linking us up, man.
Yeah, definitely, man. He told me he did the interview as well, too, man. It went crazy, bro. That's so dope, man.
But also, Nutso, I know you're a busy guy, man, so I'm going to dive right into this interview, but I want to take you back to the beginning of your amazing, legendary career this far, and I have to ask, man, what originally inspired you just to get into the music industry initially?
Well, basically, hip hop itself, the music was a big influence here in New York City, the mecca of it. And I grew up in Flushing and Corona, Queens, and my cousins were DJs. They were affiliated with a lot of up and rappers, G-Raps, to the Beat Nuts, Arch Pro, Royal Flush, Mike G, all of them. Like, I grew up around all of that. Like, I was right there in the middle, in the borderline of Queens. And as you guys were watching the videos on your MTV Raps and Video Music Box, I was actually seeing Cool G Rap and DJ Polo pass by with the white Mercedes Benz down my block. Like, it was crazy, bro. Like, just seeing all of that. So it was. I was highly influenced, man, from family to the streets, and man, hip hop is injected, bro. It runs through my veins.
And I got to say as well, man, just being a hip-hop fan, even before you actually got the opportunity to get into the music industry, just seeing those individuals drive past you, man, must have been such a surreal experience. But I guess as well, if you're just from Queens and of course in New York City all the time, you must have got really used to that very quickly, just seeing all those hip-hop celebrities.
Yeah, man. It's definitely overwhelming, but at the end of the day, it was like, yo, hold up. I'm 8, 9 years old, 10 years old, running around the mean streets of Queens, especially where I grew up at, in Corona, and later on moved to Flushing. That was the crack epidemic, man. 88, 89, like, that shit was crazy. So I was, as far as my family being hustlers and, coming from the Dominican Republic, you know what I'm saying? Like, we all started from the bottom, man. So just, hip-hop, it comes from the streets first. So I definitely can relate to it, you know what I'm saying?
And also as well, in the year 2007, you actually released the album where I actually first discovered your craft, where you released the album titled Paint the Town Red, that is actually loaded with legendary features. For the listeners that aren't quite familiar with this particular project, can you tell our listeners just a story and inspiration behind this iconic album?
Well, it was actually like a mixtape, man. And, during that time, it was like, I think, not even MySpace just started, right? Like, YouTube wasn't even out, if I'm correct. So, I mean, we had people working in radio. So it was like every opportunity and chance that we had was like, oh, yo, this rapper's coming up here, Kanye, Daddy Yankee or whatever, they're familiar with your music. And this is all the starting of their careers as well, too. So as they pass by the radio, some Sirius, any underground joints, a lot of DJs got drops for me. And they would be like, yo, Nut, this guy's a fan of your music, bro. And he just did a drop for you. I was like, word? When Kanye did that drop for me, that was crazy. So that was like, he just had the college drop, graduation album out and everything. And it was crazy, bro. I just couldn't believe that people were showing me that love, man. I was like, yo, I'm on my way to the top, bro.
And I remember as well, if I'm not quite mistaken, that also had DJ Premier actually did a drop for you as well.
Yeah, DJ Premier did the scratches and the cuts on Rest in Peace KL from Schoolboy, from Queensbridge, Black Poet and Hostile and Chiron and them. And actually, when we did that, that was back in 1999 or 2000, and we had the Nuts and Screws, What's Poppin', and DJ Premier actually did the scratches for that joint. People thought that he produced it, but actually it was Cuban. See, the Cuban produced that back in the late 90s.
And I gotta say as well, definitely a legendary project. I do suggest if people don't know this Nutso project, you definitely gotta go out there and just stream it or buy it, man, because it's definitely a masterpiece.
Yeah, that Paint the Town Red, bro. That's legendary classic, man. And there was another one around during that time. It was Fuck That, I Don't Need a Record Deal with it was hosted. It was a mixtape hosted by DJ Red Alert, man, the infamous OG, bro. You already know. Cool DJ Red Alert, man. And to this day, man, he's we still connected, bro. It's all love.
And also, well, while we're on the topic of 2007 projects, man, also your project, the Remix Crate, Volume 1 is actually phenomenal as well. I loved just the touches all those individuals actually put on those remixes.
Yeah, those, listen, we had so many, because remember, those were remixes, those songs were already out already. So basically, a lot of these DJs and producers was like, they wanted to tap in, and they loved those records so much, they wanted to add their flavor to it. And I'm gonna be honest, man. I always loved the originals, but some remixes are freaking dope, man. Like for instance, the joint with me, Mike Geronimo, and Royal Flush, and DJ Premier was actually in that video as well. That was This Is My Hood. That was that was on the Reef album. That was on the Project Hallways, fully produced by Reef. And the remix, people were loving the remix as well, and that was produced by Amazing Maze and shit from Germany. So just imagine, bro, the list goes on, man. I had so many classics that turned into remixes and turned out to be classics as well. So, the list goes on.
Man, the one off that project that I really enjoyed was actually New York City to LA, and I think that, if I'm not mistaken, that was featuring J-Rock, if I'm not mistaken. It's been a while since I actually jammed to that joint.
Yeah, that J-Rock joint, I'll tell you a little backstory real quick to that one. That's the first time I ever met Kendrick Lamar, and his name was K-Dot. And during that time, that's when TDE and them, they just, they basically just got their label together. And Kendrick Lamar was like, he had not even like one song released to date during that time. And J-Rock had the joint with Lil Wayne. He was working on his album. He had a couple of features like with K-Dot, but he wasn't popping yet. And we're in that room. We actually did that record in Sirius. K-Slay was going to go to a strip club with a whole bunch of girls. I did an interview with him. Then he was going to interview J-Rock right after. So I told J-Rock, yo, bro, if you hear, it was Wednesday. I was like, if you hear until Friday, shit, we don't have enough time to go to the studio and party and all of this. Why don't we do the joint right here? Like, CD Cuban had the inbox and all that shit. So we actually recorded that shit right next to K-Slay's studio at Shea 45, bro. We did the record, and K-Dot was actually in the room with us, Kendrick Lamar. He was like, yo, let me get on the third verse. And Cuban and Raw Mills like, man, yo, we'll save it for another record. But I was just so amped to just have J-Rock and his team from Cali there, and my blood family. I'm looking at them like, yo, bro, get on the third verse. But we didn't get a chance to. It was a lot going on, so I missed out on the Kendrick Lamar verse, man. That was crazy.
I gotta say, like, this was very, very early. By the sounds of it, it was very, very early on during Kendrick Lamar's career, man. So at the end of the day, no one really knows how quickly someone's gonna blow up, man. But if down the line Kendrick actually comes across this interview, man, definitely hit up Nutso, man. We need that. It's way long overdue.
Yeah, man. He's actually humble, genuine dude, bro. He didn't even want to go with K-Slay and him. He was like, man, I'm tired of all that fucking going out, all celebrity shit. Like, he's like, yo, I want to just go chill with you, Nutso, in the projects. But, I just came home during that time, so I was still under the courts, and I had to be home at a certain time, and I was like, yo, bro, I can't really do this. I said I could do this on Friday. And he was like, all right, hit me up on Friday. And I hit up J-Rock, and they had to bust the move and go back to L.A. that afternoon. So we never even got to really hang out like that. I mean, we chopped it up. We drank. We was in the studio together. We got to do the joint. But as far as hanging out and getting to really know each other, man, he took off, bro. We didn't get a chance to do that, man. That would have been crazy if I would have brought Kendrick Lamar to the project, bro.
And also as well, man, in 2010, you actually did work with Freestyle Records, where yourself and Brains Parker actually came together to actually release the Gritty and the Grimy EP. For the listeners that actually don't know much about this project, I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about it, and of course, what was it like just working with Freestyle Records?
Well, basically, when we was doing this EP. Brains Parker, actually, I got introduced by Brains Parker by CD Cuban. And, there's a long list. They family of DITC, Lord Finesse, and all of them. And we got together. It was done actually in the Bronx. I kept going to the Bronx. I tell you, this during the time I just came home, so I was still under the courts, on probation and all that shit. I couldn't really move around like that. I actually had my disposition papers and did a show with Redman and Craig G. I got a 2-day pass. I went to the Canary Islands. We did the show, and on the way back, Cuban was like, "Yo, bro, before you go back to the halfway house and all of that, I'm working with this dude, Brainspark. He's filling some of the beats, and he want to work with you on the EP." I was like, "Yo, bro, I only got limited time, like 6 to 8 hours every time I went out." So every weekend, we actually did this album in a month or two, because I had to do it every week. We would have done that shit in less than 2 days, but what happened was, I was only allowed out on the weekends to visit family, so I took that opportunity to brainstorm on this album with Brainsparker, man, and that's when I was Nut-Ragious, just transitioned into Nutso, man, and yo, great dude, man, dope collab, and the EP is off the hook, bro. It's dope. It's dope. Definitely something that flew over motherfuckers' heads, bro. Like, people gotta definitely go out and look out for this one right here, man. The Gritty and the Grimy EP.
And also as well, in the same year of 2010, you actually did some phenomenal work with the Snow Goons on their album Kraftwerk on the song Rotten Apple. I was wondering if you can actually just tell our listeners the story behind that collaboration. And of course, how did you originally get connected with the Goons?
Yeah, with the Goons, they were actually reaching out to us, man. Cuban, since the early 90s to the late 90s, he was always doing vinyl. So when we was in the studio brainstorming, he'll be like, "Yo, bro," I'm like, "Yo, but we got to get the record of High 97, and we got to get it to DJ Eclipse, and Stretching Bobito." And he was like, "Man, before he even goes over there, I'm sending that shit overseas. Tim Westwood and all the motherfuckers in Japan and everything." Like, yo, that's what Cuban was doing. That's how even y'all took heat of my music. Like, he was sending vinyl overseas to every fucking radio, before the blogs and all that shit came in. Like, he was putting in that footwork, bro. So that was crazy, man. Just doing those projects, during that time, it was bananas, bro.
And I gotta say as well, that right there is what you call real networking, man. A lot of people didn't really have that mindset back in the day. Most individuals were like, okay, we got to get this to like Hot 97, you know what I mean, just around the corner. But C was thinking, no, we need to go to Japan, like Alameda Records type shit.
Yeah, man. Listen, I was in Sweden in 1999. I went there with DJ JCNY. He's the one that runs Colorwork now. He be doing all the printing for Dave East and Mano and Jim Jones and all of that. And he was a DJ working straight out of his garage. And the day that I went over there, actually 50 Cent, which was a.k.a. Boo Boo during that time, this is before he got signed, before the G-Unit era and all of that. Like, 50 Cent was just working on, little mixtapes, Power Dollar and all that. I think even right before Power Dollar. And he came to Corona, to this garage. He dropped his fucking verse, and I just missed him because a couple of my people from Southside used to hustle with him. So they knew him as Boo Boo. Nobody knew him as 50 Cent yet. And right after he left, like, JCY was like, "Yo, you just missed 50, man. Are you about to drop your verse?" And it was like a mixtape done by DJ JCY from Corona, 111th Street. And, man, we've been putting in that work, bro. It's crazy, man. I appreciate this interview for real, bro.
And also as well, man, May 13th of 2013, you actually released the third single titled Blood and Bones off your album I Plead the Fifth that is actually featuring Cool G Rap and, of course, Mike Geronimo. I was wondering, how did you get connected with Geronimo and Cool G? And, of course, what was it like just working in the studio with those two legendary individuals?
Well, G-Rap actually was living out of state during the time, but Cuban went to school with G-Rap, and like I said, we all had mutual friends. We're actually those rappers that was really on the street. You know what I'm saying? Like, we really put in that work. And I was just bouncing around from fucking Corona to Flushing, and we was working from studio to studio. So, see, the Cuban reached out because we was working, remember, with Blood in My Bones, with Fifth Seal produced the beat. He was living out in Brooklyn. He came to meet us up in Flushing. We went to Heavy Rock Studios. Mike Geronimo met me over there with Royal Flush. That's actually during, like, the same week that we did Galaxy of Queens, This Is My Hood. That was during the same time we did Blood and Bones, which is bananas, bro. Like, and then everything just started coming out, on their, they all had their different deadlines. But that day, I spoke to G-Rap, like I said, mutual friends. My family's originally from Corona, Queens, and Cuban went to school with G-Rap, so that was the easy connection. And me and Mike Geronimo, he's from the other side of Flushing, I'm from the project, and we just already knew each other from the street, bro. He was a fan of my music. He's a legend in Queens. So is Royal Flush, and the connection was just, it was beautiful, bro. It was meant to be, man. It was natural, you know, like we didn't, it was no money exchange. It wasn't, yo, bro, for me to do this, hey, you know, you got to give me this money. It was, yo, none of these dudes, bro, including Prodigy, man, that I did join to it. Like, I never had to pay none of these rappers. They actually fucking really like my music. They know my music. Like, it's crazy, bro.
And when you mentioned Prodigy a few moments ago, man, I got to touch base on that, because obviously, you know, unfortunately, you know, the world lost Prodigy and Mobb Deep. So I have to ask, can you tell us a bit more about that business ordeal? And of course, man, like, what was it like just working alongside Prodigy?
Yeah, Prodigy's another one. You know, my cousin was going stuff from sickle cell as well, so we got to chop it up on that during the video shoot. But what was crazy, he didn't know that I was friends with Havoc's uncle. You know, what he wrote about Uncle La in the book, because my wife and his wife are friends. Uncle La is Havoc's uncle, and Prodigy wrote about him in the book, so that was the easy connection. But before that, just to bring you on a little backdraft on the journey, Twin Gambino from the infamous Mob for IM3, he used to come to my projects to come fuck with my niggas over there, and it was that Queens connection, bro. So the minute I was working on this album with Domingo, you know, Domingo fully produced the whole Red Sunday album, and he said, yo, it'd be dope if we could get Prodigy. I was like, that's gonna be hard. I said, I don't really know Prodigy like that, but I know his family. I said, I can reach out and see what he says, you know what I'm saying? And, yo, bro, believe it or not, he was like, I got you, bro. I'll do it. I'm a fan of your music. And then Twin was like, you know, the same week, it was getting a little, you know, weary. Like, it was getting a little eerie. Like, yo, hold up, bro. We haven't heard from them. We like, yo, is Prodigy still going to show up to the video? Like, he already gave me the verse. I was like, is he going to show up to the video? And he was feeling kind of sick, man. He was under the weather. You know, that sickle cell shit is no joke, bro. I've been with my cousin in the hospital for 2-3 days, and he can't even move. So I totally understood. And when Prodigy hopped out the whip and came to meet us over there in Long Island City, he was like, yo, bro, I wasn't even going to make it today, man. It got nothing to do with you, man. It's just, you know, my body, bro. It ain't feeling right, and blah, 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 blah. But we smoked a couple, man. We had a great time, man. We ate some edibles. Me and Prodigy was eating some fucking chocolate, some chocolate donut edibles. It was fucking bananas. I was like, yo, bro, I just grabbed this shit with my hand. He was like, I don't give a fuck, bro. We family. And, you know, it was crazy. It was a dope experience. Just, you know, as I was reciting my verse, I was looking on the right side of my eye, and I was like, yo, Prodigy knows the lyrics to my fucking joint. He actually fucking, you know, because there's other dudes, bro, they a little bit diva status, if you know what I'm saying. Like, they like, you know, man, I'm fucking Prodigy. I'm the king of this shit, bro. I don't care about none of these motherfuckers around me, but, yo, this guy was actually humble, man. Prodigy, man. Rest in peace. King Prodigy, bro. For real, bro. Mad love, man. And it was genuine, like I said. We come from a long history of a family, from the streets to the music industry.
And also as well, man, jumping ahead of the timeline a little bit, on June 10th of 2022, you actually released the amazing 11-track album. And I have to say, before I say this name, if I do get it wrong, my sincere apologies. But Rabioso Menti, man, alongside Musi, I was wondering if you can tell us a bit more about this most recently released album. And of course, where can we actually buy or stream it today?
Yeah, we got it right now on BigCartel.com. Just hit my link, you know, at Nutso PPM. I got the link on every fucking platform of mine. It's right on the top of the profile. Hit that link and you can purchase the album. We got merch. We got a lot of package deals from $25 to $150, coming with hoodies, vinyl, T-shirts. And it's just a beautiful, amazing project, bro. And how it happened was actually El Mesui. El Mesui is a Spanish Latin artist from Spain, from Madrid. He reached out to Cuban back in 1999 or 2000, if I believe. He wanted to do a record with the Beat Nut. So he seen that we was connected. He knew that I could rap my ass off. And, yo, listen, in due time, bro, it just happened, bro. We was working, and I told him, yo, bro, we gonna end up in Spain on tour. He was like, yo, first we got to do the song together. You know, he was cracking up. This is a, you know, he was like a big artist. Like he went platinum and everything, and platinum was like 75,000 copies in Europe during that time. So I don't know what it is now, but he was a platinum artist from Spain, and he wanted to work with me. He paid for our trips over there. I went there 3 times. He was out there with Capadonna, Big Noid. I also went out there with the Beat Nuts 2 times, with Cedar Cuban as well, and the whole family, bro. We rocked out. We became like real brothers, bro. Like when his mother had breast cancer, my mom's had breast cancer during the time, and then they became friends and started talking on the phone. And then I got locked up and we lost contact, but Cuban stayed in contact with him, with El Mesui. He reached out again and said, yo, hey, listen, bro, I know you really don't like rapping in Spanish like that, but I know you can rap in Spanish and you love it. But why don't we do a project together, bro? We've done all these singles, we've done all these shows, traveled the world, but we haven't done an album together. And I was like, you know, you're fucking right, Mesui. And Cuban was like, why don't we just do almost all the production on it? You just started producing too, Nut. And I was like, yo, bro, everything just started to fall into place, man. And that's what you got right now. Rabioso Mentes in Spanglish. We got Black Poet on there, my Queen's big brother. We got Comic. We got Dax Empire. We got Rob P. You know, Nutso's protege coming up. We got Cedar Cuban producing on it. El Mesui. We got Jameson Killer. Thurston Howard III. You know what I'm saying? The low-life Puerto Rican CEO, legend, low-life legend. And myself, Nutso, bro. I mean, this album is wicked. My dude Reed Raw's on it, childhood friend as well. So many joints, bro. Y'all got to hear it. Like, people are scared of this album because they're like, oh, my God, it's probably all in Spanish. I won't understand. Bro, listen, it's literally in Spanglish. Like, how Cuban told me, 50-50, bro. Like, you could skip through it, and you're definitely going to understand it. If you're a hip-hop fanatic, bro, that shit runs through your veins, and you can't go wrong copping this album, bro. This is the truth. I even seen Jim Jones and these dudes. Now they doing a Spanglish project. I was like, what the fuck's going on over here? Everybody's following the wave now, bro.
And also as well, man, June 30th of 2022, yourself and DJ Ike Love actually teamed up to release the phenomenal collaborative single titled Catching a Lick. I was wondering if you can actually just tell us a bit more about this particular song, and of course, like, how did yourself and DJ Ike actually get linked up?
Yeah, well, DJ Ike actually reached out to Cuban, man. Once again, a fan, man, hip-hop. You know, this community, yeah, we some stick together, and the ones that don't, you already know where they at, man. So Ike Love reached out, and this song was actually on the Rabioso Mente album, but it wasn't released yet. So he was like, yo, I want to host it. And I was like, what, the whole album? He's like, nah, just that joint. I love that joint. I was like, well, let me tell you another backstory about that joint. That joint was actually done in California in a studio, HMG studio, with Shaka and, you know, OT Genesis' cousin. We was all over there vibing. We was creating music out there. I went out there to go see my Swan family out there. And we was actually in Cali. So that vibe, it was, yo, listen, we was in California, South Central in July, bro. That's the worst time to ever be in South Central California or LA, bro. Like, people were dropping like flies. Nipsey got killed like a couple of months back. We're in LA. It was just hot out there. So for us to be with all those gang members in a fucking studio, it was bananas, bro. Like, the mood just switched up, and I was like, yo, Cuban, I've been writing the song Catching the Lick, and I said, that's the mood I'm in right now with all these gangbangers and everybody loves my music. I mean, I was there with Day One, you know, one of Nip's producers. He's a fan of my music. Me and him done shit together. And listen, Catching a Lick, I did that shit in like 20 minutes, the whole song. And Cuban was like, yo, we got to take this one back to New York. And we took it to multiple studios and Jake, and they hooked it up. So this joint actually been fucking lingering around for a long time, and we was just trying to figure out what to do with it. And it ended up dropping on the Rabioso Mente project. Nobody heard it yet. We sent it to Ike, and he was like, before anybody puts it out, I want to put this shit out. Ike fell in love with it. We was in love with it, and we're just looking forward to doing the video in the future.
And I gotta ask, man, what is next for yourself, Nutso? Is there anything we happen to miss during tonight's interview? Anything else you do still want to talk about or promote? Well, we still got you here live on 97.7 FM this evening.
97.7 FM, Canada, what up? Let's get it, man. Outlaw Radio. Yo, listen, man, the reality is Nutso's doing beats. I got 2 years. Cuban put the battery in my back before I was the MC since I was 8, 9 years old. My mom's got me recorded beatboxing. Like, people started to get lazy in my neighborhood, bro. Like, there was a lot of talent, like I said, man, right in the other side, bro. Mike Geronimo, Royal Flush, Drez from Black Sheep, Large Professor. I mean, Martin Lawrence grew up in the Glam Project. Kevin Kelly, the boxer, you know, Coogee Rap, the Beat Nuts, Nori and them, and Left Rack. Like, you know, that shit, they put the battery in my fucking back, bro, and that's how y'all got Nutso, man. I got so many projects out, bro. I'm featured on Jake Palumbo's new album, Robbie Blair. I mean, so many fucking mixtapes. Me and Cuban are working on Me Versus Him instrumental album, you know, my beats against his beats. And I'm also working on Nutso. Finally, I'm going to pull out a solo album. It's looking like 23 or 24, man. I'm working on it. Y'all got to bear with me, man. I got all these singles. I got about 10 songs that are unreleased. I'm just trying to figure out what we're going to do with them, man. But I love feeding y'all the real, and I'm here to stay, bro, man. I love this hip-hop shit. I'm glad I picked up the MPC. Cuban put the battery in my back. I wasn't that computer savvy back in the day, so that's why I wasn't trying to fuck with no fucking beat machine. I was scared of death, but I was always hearing beats and sounds and waves and very galactic shit going on in my fucking mind, bro. So I knew I had to put it together somewhere, man. But I love the feeling of fucking hitting them pads, bro, and creating music, man. I love it, man. So I'm here to stay, bro. The Nutso solo project, and look out for a couple of singles dropping. Me and Cuban got a single dropping for October. We got a couple of events, a couple of shows. Just stay tuned, man. Just stay with us, bro. At Nutso PPM is my handle on every social media platform, bro. Just look out, man. We coming.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, Nutso, thank you so much, man, for just giving us a bit of your time here this evening and just sliding into the 97.7 FM radio dial, man. It was such an honor and definitely a privilege to welcome legendary East Coast finest, man. Hopefully down the line we can make this happen again sometime soon, but for now, man, definitely have yourself a phenomenal Tuesday night.
Thank you, man. Appreciate y'all, man, as well, man. Let's just keep the movement alive, bro. You know, hip-hop is changing, but that don't mean we got to change, you know what I'm saying? Like, we could, not that we got to stay the same, but let's just keep reaching for the top, bro. You know, we already reached all the masses, man. Hip-hop is worldwide, bro.
I definitely agree, man. Ain't nowhere but up for all of hip-hop, man. And let's see if we can go beyond the stars as well.
Hey, listen, man. We already have the clones going around. I just want to see what these robots are going to do with this shit in the year 3000.
Hey, man, I'm going to be honest with you. I think the robots would probably ruin hip-hop. Would be if you think auto-tune is bad now, man, just wait till them robots get a hold of it. So I got to say, I'm just glad to say that I'll be dead way before then. So that actually works out for the best, I guess.
Yes, I said the same thing. I won't be around here to see that fucking mess. Fuck that shit.
But definitely, Nutso, thank you so much again, man, and definitely have yourself a wonderful night, man. Well, I'm pretty sure down the line we'll definitely talk again soon.
Appreciate y'all, man. Much love. Outlaw Radio. You heard? CKOR. Yes, 97.7. Nutso. Bang, bang. Queens, nigga. You already know what it is.